What's up guys, Jared Spaulding here. Today I'm going to be demonstrating what I like to call the Spaulding curl. Now, I know obviously a lot of people have been doing this in the fitness community where they name exercises after themselves, and they usually just throw together a bunch of different exercises, and they basically are making something that's overly flashy just for the sake of being overly flashy, looking like, I guess, a tough guy or whatever in their gym, looking like that. They have some secret, when obviously they're just being, I guess, flamboyant, if you will. But this, at least in my opinion, and from doing it for a few times, seems to be pretty tactile. Obviously, I mean, it's not like some secret that's going to make you curl 600 pounds. It's just something that is supposed to be beneficial for both strict curl powerlifters as well as arm wrestlers. Now let me demonstrate and explain each step of the Spaulding curl. Now, I would recommend using a bar like that, a curl bar, as opposed to a standard gym bar such as this, for a couple reasons. For one, your grip's not going to be like out here, so stabilizing the bar is going to be kind of difficult with the way that your grip is positioned, as well as the fact that if you're in a normal gym, or even if you were like in a smaller home gym like this one, you might not necessarily have the space. Like if I tried to curl with that bar right here, it would be hitting things, and it would very much be a risk. So this bar is just simply a lot more convenient, and it's not like this is going to be 100% carryover to only strict curling. So it's basically, it's not like you're in a meet prep, right? And you want to make every single condition the same as when you are actually doing it. This is not the main movement. Basically what I was saying there is it's not like the main movement you're going to be doing, so it's just an accessory. So feel free to just use a strict curl bar. It shouldn't mess up anything with your peaking for a meet. Now, this is a grip I would recommend as opposed to a grip like this or this. That's because the bar is very much even here as opposed to grooving in or out. And since you're using a reverse grip, that just makes it feel a lot more comfortable. That's what really feels more comfortable to me personally. Like right here feels very difficult and just very much painful in my wrists. And I recommend having your back to a wall because I do recommend doing this variation strict so you can isolate the arm muscles. I mean, if you think you can do a strict curl without a wall, be my guest, but I definitely need the wall, otherwise I'll start to cheat. And I'll demonstrate it now. So I'm gonna bring the bar up to here, pretty simple, and then strict curl it like that. And obviously you don't want to have your elbows flaring out too much because then you start to get upright row, and that's going to be pretty bad for your shoulders, and just also going to be taking the pressure off the bicep. And when you're in this position, you just do motion kind of like this. Let your wrists fall back, and then you bring them up. And I recommend doing 10 or so reps with pretty good control. Obviously, if it's your first time, it might not be the most stable. And then slowly lower the bar. It doesn't have to be that slow. I definitely recommend a slower descent because that is going to very much strengthen the bicep tendon as well, since you're holding the bar as you come down. Now, I wanted to do the motion once, but I'll explain more in depth the purpose of it. So when you're curling up to here, right, that is just to work the bicep, and since you're in this position, you're going to have the bicep tendons flexed, and holding the bar is going to strengthen them. Then, when you let the bar come back, that's going to be, basically a wrist curl. And I don't recommend using a grip like this, simply because wrist curling like this is not really the most efficient way to do the movement. It's not going to give you nearly as good of work on the forearm, and I'm pretty sure it could be kind of dangerous to have the bar like this over your chest in case it kind of slips from your grip. Could hit right here or here, and that's simply not a spot that you want a bar slamming onto. So that's why I definitely recommend having your hands in a reverse grip style, even though it's going to be definitely harder to curl up the weight. Just lower the weight, and if you can do a lot of reps up here, do a lot of reps. It really is that simple. I mean, this is not like what the Spaulding curl is, it's the whole motion. But you can feel free to do as many reps as you'd like at the top of the motion. I mean, I do like around 10 just because I think that is around optimal. For forearm training, you don't want to be doing like 50, 100 reps. That's obviously going to be very much inefficient, and the weight's probably going to be too light to really work the bicep tendon properly anyway. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of basically it though. And the way that I feel that this has helped me thus far and will continue to help me in the future is that it'll help me practice more stability, for one. As I'm curling, I've had issues before where my elbows have come out as I was strict curling, and I've had issues where maxing out where one side will come up before the other side. So I very much want to work the stabilizer muscles, which I feel this does pretty well, and work the bicep tendon as well, so I can hold the weight up here better. When I have the biceps flexed up here for a long period of time like that, as I'm doing this motion, it helps me to hold it at the top. Because in a competition, when you lock out the bar, that's not it. You're required to hold the bar up here for a couple of seconds before you get the down command, or however long it might happen to be. Kind of like when you're benching, in a meet, you're going to have the bench locked out and held for a second or two, and then you're going to get the rack command. It's the same type of thing in strict curl powerlifting. So it very much helps to work on that. And then doing this motion kind of comes into play, or I guess the benefits to an arm wrestler kind of comes into play, I should say, because obviously grip strength and forearm strength is going to be quintessential to being a good arm wrestler, as well as bicep tendon strength. So if you're losing in an arm wrestling match, you have the power to hold yourself here, let them exert themselves, and then slowly bring yourself back and win an arm wrestling match. So both of those are going to be very important. So that's, like I said, that's basically the motion. I mean, feel free to leave anything in the comments that you think should be changed, whatever. Like I said, I will definitely be tweaking this over time. I just really been doing these recently, so I'm going to need some time, obviously, to perfect the motion myself, and then to see different variations of it, how much better or worse that they're able to work the intended muscle groups. And with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed the video. That is it for this one. Peace.